Welcome to the new FC Golf Podcast, where I talk about everything high school golf around the conference and our professional team also. These podcast episodes will give you all the insight to what the golf team looks like. I would like to introduce my friend Ray to this episode. Tell him a little about yourself.
My name's Ray Locklear. I am a sophomore for FC, and this is my second year on the golf team.
So Ray, when did you get started into golf and high school golf and just golf with FC in general?
My first year playing was 8th grade year for our junior high team, and I just fell in love with it and continued to play since.
What about the team? And so we play high school golf, as some of you guys might know, but others don't. We play on a great team of a good group of guys. Ray, what would you have be like one of your greatest moments in this season alone?
One of my favorite moments so far has probably been the county tournament. A lot of really good guys, a lot of good golf, a lot of good teams, and it was just really, really enjoyable for me.
So as we're going into tonight's Brickyard match, what do you think all of us on a team should be our main focuses on? Coach said last week during on Monday during our meeting.
I think some of the most important things at this Brickyard course, which is a tougher one, is definitely to find fairways when we need to. It's a tight course, so if we can keep the ball in the fairways and play our golf, we can definitely shoot well, and I think we can beat Brownsburg and Speedway as well.
Yep. I mean, so we go into Brownsburg, right, and we just look at them, and honestly, they're a tough team, as we've seen in all the years that we've played them, right? They're just that constant tough team. They don't seem to miss anything. I was looking at their stats before we started this podcast, before episode 1, and I had seen a trending thing with them is that they were winning, but then they would only lose by 6. I looked at all their scores, and they were losing just to team. They lost to Carmel this week by 6, and then they have that trending thing of in their stat line of just missing by 6 every time if they ever do lose. But honestly, we look at them and they're a great team now. What do we think about Speedway and have they gotten better this year as you've seen, or have they do you think just stayed the same?
From what I've seen from previous years, Speedway is always a team that I believe we can beat. This year we beat them at County, so I believe we can beat them again. But Brownsburg will always be a tough challenge. They're always very consistent with their golfers and always put together a solid team.
What are some things about Brickyard tonight that people should be looking out for? It could be the rough, the bunkers, just how the course plays. Is there any hidden breaks on Brickyard when you get to the green that people that don't know how to play Brickyard should be aware of?
There's a lot of challenging holes, a lot of blind shots you might have to hit, a little bit of elevation, but honestly, I think the toughest thing is the greens. Like you said, there are a lot of undulation, and they are very quick, so putting can definitely be a tougher thing, you could say, that you'd have to conquer if you were playing it.
Okay. So now we're gonna go into the conference stuff. So FC, as we know, Flashes won against Perry Meridian on Tuesday. That was a great win. I think we played our hearts out. I mean, honestly, I don't think we could have done much better than what we did. I mean, Josh came in with a 39 after a triple on the first hole, and then you had a 42. I had a 43, so I was right behind you. And then it was Lance and Aaron with 41s, and then Quinn, the 7 guy, I'd say he was 6. He had a 46, and then everybody else, I think, after that just kind of was they're normal. Barrett and Jeremy, there are 2 new guys. So is Preston, and Barrett, Jeremy, Preston, and Jackson are 4 new guys this year that are all junior and sophomore. And honestly, they're just in it for the free golf, which I can see it from their point, but honestly, they are working too. I would say Barrett's probably one of the harder working guys on the team, and Jeremy is up there too. And then, then we have FC will be at Battleground on Saturday. Is there anything about that, Ray, that people should be looking out for also, or is that just or is that course just like wide open? It's kind of easy.
I would say there's a factor of both. It's definitely one of my least favorite courses, but there are some wide open holes and there are some very narrow holes. There are some long holes and short holes. It's kind of all over the place. It's not very consistent, but it's always a challenge and it's a fun course to play.
And then then we have Westfield at Bloomington North Invite. As we look at the Bloomington North Invite and that all those just teams down there, would you say like all the southern teams kind of have like shots at state this year, like with Bloomington South having Happy Gilmore and his run to state? Like, what would you think about that?
Yeah, I think there are a lot of tough teams down south, as you said. Happy Gilmore, I mean, he's really, really solid golfer. So I think Bloomington South is a shot. There's just a lot of really, really solid competition down there that all have probably could make state.
I think the one thing with the southern part of Indiana is we're more of the central part, and we just don't hear a lot about them. But like I think we don't hear a lot about them is because we're in one of the most tougher conferences in the state, or either the Midwest, and we're just hearing, and all our teams are either to the west or the north of us, so we hear more about those teams. And I don't think we've heard once about Bloomington South or Bloomington North this year of how they're coming and playing. I mean, I was talking with my buddy on Martinsville who goes to one of my private trainers, and he was like, Happy Gilmore's a great all-around player. He went 4 over at Foxcliff and then went 4 under on the back to go even on the day, which I think is just pretty insane. And he already has an offer from Ball State and Purdue and is still trying to figure out which one he wants to go to. Like, what would your thoughts be on that, on Happy Gilmore as that type of golfer?
I mean, obviously, you can see why colleges are recruiting and wanting to get him on his team, but I think if he can keep his head in it and avoid those 4 overs and continue to play solid golf with the 4 unders and shooting under, I think he's got a lot of potential to go somewhere, not just in college golf, but maybe even somewhere farther.
Yep. And then as we look at Brownsburg tonight, we have a tough matchup against them because Blaze Chapman, he's played in the he's number 1 in the first tee of Indiana right now, and he's went and played Pebble Beach in a couple tournaments. He's played Spyglass Hill in a couple pro-ams. Like, I think Brownsburg is full of tough golfers, but I think if Blaze is on a bad day today, I think we can possibly get that team of Brownsburg. And then we look at John Ames, who's also at Brownsburg, who's their number 1, and he's got a D1 offer. No, it's like a D2 offer to St. Mary's of the Woods down in Evansville. So, honestly, if we look at that, I mean, and if he's on a bad day, but he's, like, when I've always seen him golf, he's always one of those very consistent golfers that just puts that time and the work in. And, I mean, if you see golfers who put the time and the work in, you're going to be a very accurate player. You're not going to be the type of guy who's going to be up and down like me, going from 87 to 104 back down to, like, 85. So it's just like, if you're that very consistent golfer, you're going to put up those very consistent scores. Colleges are going to look at that and say, hey, I want you guys. What would your thoughts on that, Ray?
Yeah, I agree. I mean, I think they're both very, very solid golfers, and it'll be a challenge tonight. But Blaze is a freshman, so this is one of his first high school year match. So I guess I don't know how he'll handle the pressure. I'm sure he'll be okay, and I'm sure he'll perform. But their number 1, like Jackson said, is he's very, very solid. He shoots probably even, under, maybe 1 over, 2 over if he's having a rough day. So it'll be a tough time to compete, but I think it'll be fun. It'll be a good challenge for our team, and we'll try and pull out the victory tonight.
Yeah, honestly, about that victory, I definitely think we can. Honestly, we're a great enough team to where I think we could, because we're honestly, for FC, this has been one of the better years for FC in the past, would you say, like 5 years? I say, because, like, my freshman year, and even, well, honestly, when Aaron was a freshman, he kind of had, like, one of those better teams. They made it to regionals, and then after that, our team missed it by 3 with going to regionals with a couple guys. Aaron, like, missed it by, like, 2, and then Ryan McCann had, like, he missed it off by, like, 10. But honestly, like that was probably our best year. And then my sophomore year, I don't think we barely had anybody. And then we had then this is my junior year, Ray's sophomore year, and I think we're a pretty stacked team, and I think we will be this year and next year. And then after next year, we're probably just Ray is probably just gonna have to deal with a team that's probably just gonna fall off because there's nobody else coming from the middle school that's gonna probably be that good. And then probably by the time that Ray's a senior, the team will maybe be that good again because you'll have Adam Mahana come back in, and he'll be a freshman when you're a senior. So I think that'll be cool to watch as a graduate. But as we look around the conference again, I mean, Noblesville at the spring preview at Prairie View. Have you played that course, Ray?
Yes, I've played it a couple times before. It's a challenging course, but it's definitely fun.
Fun facts about that course: that is the state course that the state finals are in June. Then we have Brownsburg at the Harrison Hills Invite. Have you played that course? Or I haven't played that course. Zionsville at Warsaw. Avon will be at Lawrence North tonight. HSE will be at the spring preview this weekend, and Fishers will be at the Harrison Invite. So honestly, we have two of a couple good conference teams at the Harrison Invite. I think we look at Fishers. I mean, we don't know much about them this year. We haven't seen them at many tournaments. Have you seen them at many tournaments, Ray?
No, I have not.
I mean, I feel like Fishers, HSE. I mean, Nobles. Well, I mean, we'll see Fishers next weekend at Fox Prairie if any of our varsity golfers go, because that's the HCC JV conference invite. Usually at those types of things, it's like tee off, and it's so like I don't play with much, and usually when we're playing there, it's HSE, Westfield, and Fishers, and usually those are some top teams. But I don't think Fishers is that good this year because after last year they had lost all their great seniors. So it's gonna be fun if I go play at Fox Prairie and see how Fishers is this year. And then Avon is an easy beatable team. I mean, we just had a bad run against them at Prestwick last week. Honestly, that's not a bad thing to come to about. Honestly, Ray, what's your thoughts be on that with Avon? And I think they're a good beatable team.
Yeah, Prestwick was definitely not one of the nicest courses we've played. It was in rough condition, and it was obviously Avon's home course. But they have some solid golfers. I think their 1 and 2 are good, but they definitely aren't as good as our number 1 and 2. We all kind of had a rough days that day, so I definitely think Avon is gettable if we're all on our game.
Yeah, and then we have the HCC conference invite here in 2 weeks. Ray, go ahead and give us a little bit more, go into detail about that conference, or about that matchup at Bear Slide.
Yeah, Bear Slide is a tough course, and there's a lot of really solid teams on our conference. But I enjoy Bear Slide. It's always a challenge. It's a beautiful course, and I love playing against. I don't remember who we play with, but we have Center Grove, HSC, all these really solid teams in our conference. So it'll be a challenge this year. But I think if we come together and we all play solid golf, I think that we can possibly make it out of conference.
Yeah. So to go more on that, I think when we see Zionsville there, Westfield there, I mean, we might not play with them, but we'll probably see them there just because it's the conference matchup here at Bear Slide. I honestly think that we're more of the doorstep team in past years. We're the ones that usually finish up last, usually with Avon. I mean, there's nothing, but nobody's really expecting us to do anything this year, and I honestly think we could make a run for it for being top 4 in the conference. I mean, that might be a little bit of a stretch, but I don't think it's that much because we know who's going to take it. It's going to be Zionsville, it's going to be Westfield, Zionsville, HSC, and Noblesville that are going to take it, and then everybody else, and then Brownsburg, and then that last 3. I hope is to be us, and then I want Avon under us, and I want Fishers to finish up last. But even though if Avon finishes up last, then that we know that's a good thing. So we do have a match next Wednesday against Roncalli. How do you think that match is going to go as you've seen them play a couple times this year?
Yeah, Roncalli's, we always want to beat them. They're one of our rivals, but the first tournament we played in, we lost to them by 1 stroke. So we would have had a third place finish, placed fourth. So we'd obviously like to get our redemption, but they have some solid golfers as we do. So I think we can definitely compete. It's at our home course, which I guess is their home course as well. So it'll be fun, and we just got to navigate our course and play our game, and I think we should be able to come out on top.
Yeah, and with it being our home match this year, technically not away because last year Roncalli's head coach had to introduce teams and figure out what he wanted to do and do all scorecards. With this being our home year and against Roncalli, I think we can actually make something happen. I mean, we have Roncalli as becoming as one of the greater teams as I've seen, but honestly, after this year, they're going to lose a couple good guys. They're going to lose, I mean, especially Oliver Wellman, who's that really good golfer. He shoots a 78 mainly. But if we look at 9-hole stacks, he's mainly shooting like 42s, 41s, 40s as that senior varsity golfer. I mean, right around airing. So, like, honestly, if we can have I think if we can play how we played against Perry Meridian on Tuesday, I think we can make a run against Roncalli most definitely for next Wednesday and actually have a chance to beat them and get our get back. Ray, what would you say about that?
Yeah, I definitely agree. We all played very well against Perry at our home course we hosted. So I think if we can all play that same level of golf at our home course, I definitely think we can come out on top.
Yeah, definitely on that. I mean, so like you played with a couple Perry guys. Like, how were the Perry guys this year compared to like last year? I mean, I already knew that this kid was not going to cheat. I mean, there was a couple guys behind us that the one of the Perry kids were definitely cheating because I just know he was cheating because he cheated last year. And why was he going to just do it again? Because I think we all know Perry's just going to be like that. Right? How were your guys when you played against them? They were the brothers, right?
Yep. I played against the brothers, and they've definitely improved as years have come. I've played with them last year, and they're definitely better, but they definitely did cheat. There was a couple times I had to call them out for trying to take lower scores, and I played with our number 4, which is Lance Walters, and he had called his guy out a couple of times as well. So we did come out on top against our group, so it was fun, but they always try and sneak scores or strokes when they can.
Yeah, and honestly, I mean, that's just going to happen in high school golf, but that's honestly, if you look at how we are as a team at FC, I mean, we don't really put up with cheating as much as, let's just say, Perry does. I mean, I think they know they were going to come in and lose, so I think they knew that they were going to have to sneak strokes here and there. But honestly, us FC golfers, we really don't allow that, and we're really good score counters when it comes to that because we know we've been there in that situation, not cheating, but like we've been one of those bottom teams, and we've known that we've needed to sneak scores in, but that's not the right way to do it. The right way to do it is when you're just like you've got to come back out of that mental game. You got to figure out what's going on by that like 4th hole. And honestly, if you can figure out that, I think you guys would be like one of the better teams. But if you guys just can figure out the like what you're doing wrong, and I think that's any high school team is if you can figure out what you're doing wrong and you're having a bad round, figure that out by the 4th hole so that way you're not screwing the rest of your round up. What would you say to that one?
Yeah, I definitely agree with that. Golf is a very mental game, and if you can continue to fight through your round, I don't think a round is ever over. I mean, the game is going to throw punches on you, and the best golfer is the one who put the gloves on and punch back.
Yep. So with that, this is the end of episode 4. I'll catch you guys next week with another special guest. Have a nice day, Flash.